We'll look at KNT Netball now on the Friday night sports show. Sally Bywater's with me, and finals are kicking off this weekend. Sally, can you believe the season has already wrapped up for half the teams in the comp?
Oh, no, it's just amazing. I can't believe we had 16 weeks go by. Here we are starting in April, end of August, and finals, here we come.
Yeah, it certainly has flown by, and it's been a thrilling season. Of all the leagues I've been in charge of covering, this one's probably been the closest. It's single-digit games consistently, and there's a couple of teams outside of the finals who probably have had a few wins against teams in the finals, and yeah, it's just been a really tight comp all year round, but just 5 teams remaining now. We'll run through the finals in just a moment, but before we do, let's take a look at round 16, last round of the season, and we'll kick things off with the only game of the weekend that wasn't decided by single digits, which was Kyby beating Mundalla 61-49, so a good win for Kyby to take them into the finals.
Absolutely. It's what they wanted going into the finals, and this win really set up in the first quarter when they won that quarter 19-9, so a fantastic start for them, and their goal is not missing for the quarter, so a great effort, and that really set their win up. It was quite close in the second half. Mundalla had probably got in front a little bit, but yeah, great win here by Kyby, finishing their season well to go into finals, and yeah, Mundalla back at the drawing board for next year.
All right, and let's work our way down from biggest margin to smallest. So the next closest thing to a blowout, which was certainly not a blowout, and it's a preview of this week's final. It was Lucindale getting the chocolates over Penola, 58-50 at Lucindale.
Yeah, absolutely. A fantastic win here by Lucindale, which was with that confidence booster they want. I know Penola weren't quite at full strength. They probably haven't played back this week, so which made a bit of a difference, but a great win here, Lucindale. They wanted to get some consistency going into the finals. So winning that last quarter, 13-8, really set them up for a nice win against Penola. But yeah, different game this week.
Yeah, most definitely, and we'll chat about that in just a moment. But 2 more games that happened in round 16, and it was a bit of a close call for Keith, winning by just 6 goals over Kingston, 58-52 at Kingston. We probably thought it might have been a bit more of a blowout than that, so a really good effort by Kingston to put 52 goals on the board.
And it really was. Once you've probably eliminated that first quarter, where Keith got them that first quarter 18-7, so a slow start by Kingston, but Keith coming out of the blocks really well. So to finish off consistently, they won the second half by 2 goals, and I know there's a lot of youth got on this court, which is fantastic to see the depth of both of these clubs. So a great finish to the season by Kingston, and Keith getting the week off this week. Finish top.
Yeah, Keith finishing on top, so they've earned that week off. And then we had one last game, and it was sort of the story of the season for Naracoorte. They went down by 1 goal, 47-46 against Border Districts, and yeah, it was a bit of an almost season for Naracoorte. Fell a couple of games short of playing finals, or it might have only been 1 game short, in fact, of playing finals, and they were very, very close on a lot of occasions.
Absolutely. And again, this was just Border Districts coming out really strong in the first quarter, getting up 16-7. But Naracoorte came really home really well. But one last quarter, 16-7. So only going down by 1 at the end, and it would have gone right down to the wire. So which was the end of their season. But at least they came off with a pretty good game in the end.
Yeah, they certainly rarely were convincingly beaten, Naracoorte. They finish in 6th place, but they've got a better percentage than the teams in 5th and 3rd, and they're only a fraction behind Keith on percentage, 107.5 for Keith, 105.95 for Naracoorte. So it goes to show how close they were, and I'm sure next year some of those close losses will probably be wins. So they might be the team to watch next year, but we'll worry about that next year because we've got finals to get into, and of course we've got a couple of huge games to kick off the finals. So let's start with the elimination final. Border Districts and Kybybolite. They've played twice this year. Kyby beat them in round 3, 57-51, and then they beat them again in round 12. It was 49-48. So a couple of really close wins there. But Border Districts have been higher on the ladder pretty much the whole season. So is this a bit of a bogey team for Border Districts?
It certainly sounds like it. Like we probably would think Border Districts would be favourites going into this game, but history says that Kybe won on both occasions they've played this season, so it could be anything that would come. I hope both teams are at full strength, which I think they will be, and anything can happen come finals time. It will be played at Keith indoors, so we'll see a fantastic match in the elimination final here. I think Borders will get the win, but I think it'll be really, really close, and Kybe already take up to them. They have to shoot accurately to get this win because Borders District's defenders are really strong and tight, so it'll be a fantastic game and Borders in a close one.
All right, the tip is in for Borders. Are both teams going into this one pretty much at full strength?
Yeah, I think they were both at full strength last week, so that will be fantastic. It's what we want to see at this time of the season. So, yeah, I know Kybe are really getting their strength together and hopefully they play some good games. And, yeah, Borders definitely a bit of youth experience, lots of finals experience, which is we want to see, and fantastic game on display.
Yeah, certainly is what we like to see. Everyone fit and firing. So that's going to be a cracking game. We'll see if Border Districts can overcome that sort of bogey team that they've had for the year. Unable to beat them yet, but this could be the weekend. There would be no better time to get their first win over them for the season. And in our other game, so the winner of that one will play the loser of our other final, which is Penola and Lucindale. They just played on the weekend. Lucindale winning by 8 goals, and they've been coming hard for the last few weeks, Lucindale. How do you see this one playing out? Penola have had a chance to sort of scout out their game plan and rectify any errors that they made in that 8-point loss.
Absolutely. And then when they played in round 7, Penola got the win by 21. So it just shows you how well Lucindale have finished off this season. So I think it'll be a fantastic tussle. Jordan Adams was missing from Penola last week, so I think she'll bring in a great lot of experience into this side for Penola this week if she's playing. So I think it'd be great. It's at Penola, so Penola get the home ground advantage. So I think Penola will turn the tables this week after their loss last week and have a good win to go into play Keith in next week's final. But again, I really want to see these two teams play and I can't wait to see this matchup.
All right, it will be good to see both teams at full strength there as well. What sort of a difference do you think the home crowd is going to make for Penola? Because, of course, that game on the weekend was at Lucindale. Do you think it's worth the 8-goal swing? And, of course, you mentioned Jordan Adams coming back into the team as well. Do you think that'll be enough to overcome that deficit and get back on top?
I think it really can. I think a home crowd advantage or any crowd makes a difference in finals, and neither of these sides have football teams playing in the afternoon on Saturday, so they'll even have some great depth at their club. So Penola at home, they will have people obviously manning tents and doing all volunteer work, but I think their ground and that will get them over the line, but I think there'll be a massive crowd here watching these two teams.
All right, so Keith will be waiting for the winner of that game, and the loser will get to play the winner of Border Districts and Kybybolite. So, yeah, double chance on the line there for Penola and Lucindale. Should be a cracking game. Should both be cracking games, and hard to believe we're already in finals, but here we are, and it's going to be a very big weekend. Are you getting out to either of the games this weekend, Sally?
I will be. I will be at both games. So I will be at Penola on Saturday and Keith on Sunday. So I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, very good. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on both of those games next week and giving us a good first-hand review of both of them. Enjoy the netball. We'll catch up next week.
Sounds great. Thank you very much.